Hi guys, there isn't any video pertaining to these documents, so in the background you will see a random selection of photos from the case. As always, anyone mentioned on this channel is presumed innocent. This is Idaho State Police Document 59 dated December 14, 2022, about possibly a class or internship of some kind that the victim, KG, took part in while in college or possibly student teaching. Because it mentions her doing some kind of presentation or paper about festivals of Africa. It reads as follows: interview with a 36-year-old white male. On December 9, 2022, at about 12:08 p.m., officers interviewed redacted person regarding his interactions with her. She had been a redacted role in redacted place from January to March 2022. Detectives met the man at a redacted address in Moscow, Idaho. The officer states this report is only a summary of the audio. Mr. Redacted first met KG in January of 2022, when she was placed at his redacted workplace by the University of Idaho as a redacted, which was part of the requirements of her redacted degree. He stated she was initially timid and struggled to connect with redacted, which he attributed to complications of the COVID-19 lockdowns. She did a presentation or paper titled Fun Festivals of Africa during her time in this role. He stated the only time he had contact with victim initial K outside of their professional relationship was when he took his 3 daughters and wife to her sorority house, so his daughter could sell chocolate bars for a fundraiser. He stated the only communications he had with her was regarding her role as a redacted, and was typically via text message. He stated he will periodically take redacteds to get coffee after they successfully complete their redacted, but he couldn't remember definitively if he had taken KG to coffee during her time in the program or class. He couldn't remember the exact dates, but knew she was a redacted from January to March 2022. He stated on the night of November 12th, and into the early morning hours of November 13th, 2022, he was at home with his family. He was with his 3 daughters at home, while his wife was at a ladies' night from about 6 to 10 p.m. He stated he put his children to bed at about 9 p.m. and went to bed shortly after, and that when his wife arrived home around 10 p.m., he was already asleep in bed. He called his wife during the interview and placed it on speakerphone. She provided the same info. He was initially agreeable to providing a DNA sample, but was hesitant to allow his cell phone to be forensically extracted. He said he had to leave, but agreed to provide the DNA sample later that evening after discussing the matter of the cell phone extraction with his wife. At about 5 p.m., he contacted the officer by phone and said he intended to seek legal counsel before providing a DNA sample or allowing his cell phone to be extracted. He said he would contact the officer on December 12th with his decision. On December 12, 2022, the officer processed the audio recording of the interview into evidence at the Moscow Police Department and transferred it to the MPD evidence technician. On December 13, 2022, at about 5 p.m., the officer contacted the man by phone after he failed to contact him the previous day. The man said he did not believe he had done anything wrong, that he had been a quote good Samaritan unquote, by allowing victim initial KG to be a redacted, and he didn't understand why he was on the contact list in the first place. Therefore he was declining to provide a DNA sample or his phone for extraction.